Hey guys, you're in a nutshell with me, Ina. Nauna na yung gumagapang dyan sa baba o nalagay ko na. But anyway, ang episode po natin na ito para sa mga kababayan nating nandito na sa Canada and having some issues with their immigration status, maaring na-refuse kung ano man po ang ina-applyan ninyong extension ba yan, restoration. Ngayon, if you feel like you're at the end of the, wala ka ng ibang option. Okay, na-refuse na-refuse lahat ng ina-apply mo. Ang concern mo is, ano ba to? May kakatok ba sa bahay ko? Ipapa-deport ba ako? Magkakaroon ba ako agad ng removal order? Yan po ang ating pag-uusapan, as well as other issues pertaining to ongoing deportation efforts ng government ng Canada. Yan. Nagbabalik, Attorney Renz Grospe. Hi, Attorney Renz. Again, thank you. Okay, as I mentioned guys, so yung gumagapang po dyan sa baba, sa kanya po yung email na yan. So if you wanna follow up on anything that we will discuss in this episode, feel free to email and consult with Attorney Renz. Okay, Attorney Renz, I've been reading in seeing social media posts, no, na talagang tuloy-tuloy ang refusal ng mga application, parami ng parami. And
Yeah.
I'm sure big concern is, ano ba to? Sige, apply ako ng application. Appeal, kung na-refuse. Ito na, restoration period, na-refuse na rin. Ipapa-deport ba ako agad-agad ng Canada? May ganun bang nagtanong sa'yo?
Yeah. Actually, karamihan na ng ngayon, dahil madami talaga yung, limitado na ang LMIA, limitado na ang study permit, visitor record. Ang next na tanong nila, after ba ng restoration? Kasi pag restoration, di ba, 90 days.
Oo.
And while it's pending, you can stay in Canada. Although, technically speaking, out of status ka na. After restoration kasi, doon na yung yung risks that the CBSA will start looking for you.
Okay.
Yeah? So after restoration, there's that risk. Ang tanong doon, is the risk high na they were gonna knock on your door and deport you, no? Hindi naman, no? Canada, may rule of law pa rin naman sa Canada, no? May due process.
Okay.
So, hindi ka naman agad-agad mapapauwi. Depende where you are in your immigration journey. So, for example, after restoration, may TRP ka pa na pwedeng i-apply. And while
Temporary resident permit, guys.
Oo. So, while it's pending, they're not gonna knock on your door and then, dapat umuwi ka na. Hindi naman ganun. No. After ng TRP, ma-refuse yun, they can appeal. But usually, sasamahan mo ang TRP ng humanitarian application. No?
Okay. But, Attorney Renz, there are only certain qualifications or reasons why you should apply for a TRP. Can you tell us what those situations are?
So, basta ang legal test naman kasi ng TRP, compelling needs versus risks.
Okay.
So, may compelling reasons ka. So, for example, sa mga cases na hinahandle ko for caregivers, yung situation na may fraudulent representative sila, consultant or ghost consultant. And then, instead na i-apply ang LMIA on time or i-apply talaga yung LMIA, hindi nila ginawa.
Yeah.
Diba? So, it was out of their control. Pero, yung inaalagaan nila, vulnerable member of the society, kunyari, matanda na may dementia, palliative care. So, that's a compelling need.
Okay.
Diba? So, in those cases, basta may may high medical needs, there's a high chance na ma-approve ang iyong TRP na makapag-stay ka pa. Pwede rin yan, like may mga PGWP din, hindi sila nakapag-apply on time, na-invalidate yung status nila sa study permit, pero meron silang, kunyari, breadwinner, ganyan, and then may gera sa lugar nila or may economic problem sa sa country nila, no? May mga nakakalusot sa TRP.
All right.
For example, yung mga study permits din na mga bata, karamihan yung mga kliyente ko ngayon, yung mga magulang nila, they assumed na if their work permit are renewed, pati yung sa mga anak nila, renewed na rin.
Oh, pero hindi
Without
pala.
applying anything.
Oh, all right. Okay.
May mga ganun. So, may mga ganun akong files na mga bata talaga. So, may mga na-approve din naman ako na TRP para sa mga bata. Ang reasons is that, yung mga magulang nila rito, may mga permit pa, walang mag-aalaga back home. Ganun.
Okay. So,
Pero
ayun, no?
going back sa tanong mo, ate, about
Go.
yung mapapauwi ba sila agad? Pag, for example, yung humanitarian application mo na-refuse, mabilis na doon. Mabilis na ang procedure ng deportation.
Oh, pag agency.
Oo. Pero hindi naman siya yung parang on the spot. Natalo ka sa mismo, on the spot, anahin ka nila. Hindi naman katulad sa US na pag na-refuse yung appeal mo sa korte, susunduin ka ng ICE, no? Hindi naman.
Okay.
There's a due process. Pero pag sa humanitarian, pag na-refuse na yon, pati yung appeal mo, na-refuse na, mabilis na dun yung deportation process.
I see. Okay.
3, 4 months.
Yeah. But for refusals because of overstaying, ayan, talagang nawalan ka ng status, misrepresentation, ganyan, mukhang hindi naman agad-agad, ano? I will show them, attorney, this slide, or this, chart, from, CBSA mismo. Yan. Ito po ang data tungkol sa mga enforced removals by specific types of inadmissibilities. Okay? Dito lang natin puntahan lang natin rather, itong misrepresentation, kasi yung mga involving ng mga immigration applications, ano? Misrepresentation, and ito po palang non-compliance, usually overstaying daw po yan, sabi ni Attorney Renz.
Overstay, unauthorized work, unauthorized studies.
Yan, okay. Kung titignan yung numbers, no? For example, total for 2024 sa misrepresentation, 94 ang merong removal orders or enforced na pala, no? Tapos sa non-compliance, more than 2,300. If you add it up, 3,000, around, sabihin mo ng 3,000. Sabi ko nga kay Attorney Renz, kung 3,000, yung nababalitaan, yung nare-report dati, na bilang ng mga tao, mga temporary residents na gustong paalisin, no? Inaasahan ng Canada na umalis, parang umaabot ng 2 million yata in some reports. So this number is very small kung tutuusin, Attorney Renz. And I guess this is proof dun sa sinasabi ni Attorney Renz na hindi kasi ganun kadali, no, kabilis magpa-deport dito sa
contrary to maraming misconceptions sa Filipino community na once you receive a refusal letter, that's a departure order.
Okay.
So, not necessarily. Depend on the application, pero most of the temporary residence application, that's not a departure order yet.
Okay.
Departure order, may nakalagay doon, nakasaad. Nakalagay yung departure order, and then nakalagay doon, within 30 days dapat umalis na kayo.
Yeah, okay.
Otherwise, the departure order will turn to a deportation order.
All right. So, Attorney Renz, if somebody is, ang palagay niya, na-exhaust niya na lahat, pwede niyang i-exhaust, kasi I don't want to encourage naman overstaying, Attorney Renz. We don't want to do that. Okay? No. At what point should they think about leaving? Or, on the other hand, how would they know if there is still an option for them to legally stay?
It will depend on where they are in their journey.
Mhm.
Lagi kong sinasabi, kasi maraming nagtatanong, gusto ng shortcut sa humanitarian.
Oo.
Lagi kong sinasabi, humanitarian is a last resort.
Okay.
No?
Very last.
Last resort na yun. Kasi kapag nag-humanitarian ka, tas you still have other options, like economic options, there's a high possibility ma-refuse yun. And then, mabilis na talaga ang deportation nun.
Mhm.
Pero kung ang tanong mo, practicality-wise, may ano dyan practical ano yun, tsaka legal.
Mhm.
Of course, pag practicality niyan, siyempre yung cost niyan, pag mag-TNT ka rito, tago ng tago, wala
Naku
kang
po.
access sa maraming services, wala kang access sa medications,
Mhm.
Medicare, in terms of employment, you don't have leverage na, okay, may ganitong experience, pero the job that will be available to you, mga more lower than minimum wage.
Mhm.
So, that's one of the consideration dun, practicality-wise, gano'n ba ang gusto mong buhay dito,
Yeah.
no?
Yeah.
Napaka-precarious nung ano mo, ng situation mo. You're very susceptible sa exploitation in those cases.
Yeah.
Pero legally speaking, you still have a lot of remedies, no?
Okay.
So, isa na dyan yung appeal. Kung non-criminal yung reasons for refusal, you can go to, tas ano ka, permanent residence yun, you can still go to IAD, no?
Okay.
Immigration Appeal Division. Pero kung may ano naman yan, criminal involvement, you can go to federal court, judicial review.
Okay.
Pwede rin naman, kunyari, end of the line yan talaga, no? Meron yung tinatawag na motion for stay of removal.
Ano yun?
So, sa motion of stay of removal, basically, so kunyari may date ka na for deportation.
Okay.
Usually, bigyan kayo ng 2 weeks. Depende. Kung flightless ka, mas mabilis.
Mhm.
But usually, they give you like mga 1 month, 2 months, ganyan.
Okay.
You can still challenge yung deportation order.
Oh, okay.
You can request for a motion of stay. So, stay meaning, i-defer mo na yung removal mo. The way it works, sabihin mo, okay, I have a pending humanitarian application. I have a pending spousal sponsorship
Yeah.
application. Tapos, papakita mo na merong harm, irreparable harm, pag pinabalik ka.
Mhm.
Sasabihin mo like, temporary lang, bigyan mo lang ako ng chance na magstay pa ng konti. So, ang stay of removal, kung gusto mo pa talaga magstay dito permanently, dapat meron kang kalakip na permanent residence application. Then, you
Oh.
challenge yung stay of removal. No? Magre-request ka ngayon ng deferral,
Mhm.
CBSA. And most of the time, CBSA will refuse yung deferral mo. Request for
Okay.
deferral. And that's what you challenge sa korte.
And court proceedings on such matters take long. Do they take long, attorney?
No.
Mabilis.
You can request for an emergency hearing.
Okay.
Yeah. Pero matrabaho siya, no? Kasi yung work mo as a lawyer, yung work mo ng 4 na buwan, you'll do it in 2 weeks.
Oh, wow. Okay. Grabe
Huh?
pala, no?
Tsaka mahal din siya kasi madami siyang procedure na gagawin.
Yeah. I can imagine. Oo nga, no? Okay, but the message lang, no, of Attorney Renz is, maaring meron pa, if you feel like you're at the end of the line, maaring meron pa.
Meron pa.
Stay
Oo.
legally, okay? Explore other options, kumbaga. Okay, pero again, nasa sa inyo yan. I don't want to encourage overstaying, especially I do not encourage staying here undocumented. Mahirap yan, TNT sa Canada. Naku po, wag na.
Exactly.
Okay.
We don't encourage but we don't judge.
Yeah, exactly. No, mahirap na, Diyos mo. Okay. Let us now go. Ito naman, guys, i-analyze natin yung trends. Okay? Saan usually mas ini-enforce ang deportation orders, no? Ito, let me show this. From the same, site. Ano ba yan? Teka muna. Ano ba to? Hold on. Yan. This one, enforced removals by region. Oo. Ang pinakamaraming ini-enforce ay Quebec.
Quebec.
And it's because I think marami talagang tumatawid dyan yung mga nag-asylum claimants nga, no? Tama, Attorney Renz?
Yes.
Na agad ring pinapabalik ng US. Kasi doon sila mostly nanggagaling. Ang sunod dyan, Greater Toronto Area. Ayan, no? 5,000 plus. This is from 2024 to 2025 so far. No? And then Pacific Region. Saan ba itong Pacific Region, Attorney?
British Columbia.
Oh, BC. All right. Okay. And then Prairie, Southern Ontario region. Oh.
So, I think ang trend dito sa mga major big cities, mas marami doon ng enforcement.
Oo. Okay.
Pero kung kung titignan mo din ate, siguro yung table about sa mga reasons of refusal.
Wait. Is this one?
Yan.
Yan, okay.
Pre-COVID, kung makita mo sa non-compliance, 3,647.
Yeah, this one.
Tapos bumagsak yan, diba? Like 1,000, kalahati na lang, tapos pakunti na. And then, it was during the period of COVID 2020, 2021, 2022. And na-stop na-defer yung mga removals noon.
Okay.
During those period. Ang trend, starting 2023, nakita mo na sa 2,000 mark na
2,000 na ulit. Ito, 2024, 2003 naman. Pataas ng konti, no?
So, wala pa tayo sa level ng pre-COVID. Pero makikita mo na it's picking up. No?
Alright.
Yung trend ngayon is that there's more enforcement ng removal.
Yeah. And that's what you're expecting for 2025, 2026, Attorney Renz?
More. Especially, there's a concerted efforts between provinces tsaka federal on lowering the number of foreign workers, students. No? So, there's gonna be more enforcement. I think, tulad yan sa Quebec, may mga rin sila, diba, mga proposal.
Yeah.
On how to lower yung number. Possibly the premiers of the provinces will pressure the federal government na palakasin pa yung enforcement and monitoring ng removals.
Yeah. Oo nga Talagang no? The reality is, guys, parang survival of the fittest na talaga. Those with the best, CRS score, alam nyo na, experience, ganun talaga, no? That's really what is happening.
French ngayon.
Yeah.
Tapos mga rural areas, ngayon ang focus ng federal tsaka provincial nominee programs.
Yeah. Okay. Di bale, siguro moving forward, we can talk about kung sino ang mga uri ng mga temporary residents who have better chances of surviving this whole thing that's going on, yung pag-iigibit ng Canada. But for now, thank you so much, Attorney Renz, again, for your insight. Maraming salamat sa inyo. And again, yung email po niya, yung gumagapang po dyan sa baba, if you want to consult with him, that is his email. We will end this episode here. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!